Welcome to Study Loop.
Hello and welcome back. We are in chapter 13 now, starting problem 36. We're going to indicate whether a statement is true or false. And what we're looking at is solubility today. So A, if you compare the solubility of a gas in water at two different temperatures, you find a gas is more soluble at a lower temperature. So let's think about that. We have a gas going into solution. So we need something from a gas going into a liquid phase. So it's out here, particles in the air, and it needs to be in here. What has to happen? If temperature goes up, what happens to liquid? Liquid becomes a gas. As temperature goes down, you've got gases becoming a liquid. So this absolutely makes sense. So if you compare the solubility of a gas in water at two different temperatures, we find that gas is more soluble at lower temperatures. That's absolutely correct. That's what we found as well. The trend is at lower temperatures, gas is definitely more soluble. So that's true. Let's look at our next problem now. The solubility of most ionic solids in water decreases as the temperature of the solution increases. So let's look at this now. We have a solid, and that solid is going into water. Perfect. This is like sodium hydroxide. Any salt we want to dump into water and we want it to break down. So let's think about temperature again. If we boil that water, increase that temperature, is the solid going to go into solution more? Absolutely. We're going to have a lot more solids going into liquid state. If we lower that temperature, it's going to be much more difficult for a solid to go into liquid. Not saying it's impossible by any stretch of the imagination, just saying it's more difficult. The solubility is going to go down as temperature goes down, which is the exact opposite that we found up here with a gas into liquid. So watch out when they say these things. You've got a solid in water, and the solubility of most ionics in water decreases. So it's saying the solubility decreases as the temperature of the solution increases. So as the temperature of the solution increases, so the solubility of the ionic in water decreases. So solubility is going down. That's absolutely not true. We found the exact opposite to be true. In fact, if you want a salt to go into solution, you can often boil it and make that happen. All right, moving on to C. So we've covered A, we've covered B, and C, the solubility of most gases in water. So we're talking about what we talked up top. We've got a gas going into water, into a liquid state. The solubility of most gases in water decreases as the temperature increases. So let's think about that. We have the temperature decreasing, and we found that solubility went up. This says solubility goes down, so that is absolutely not true. It doesn't matter what reason they try to give us, it is false all the way through and through. All right, we are on to our last section of this problem. Some ionic solids become less soluble in water. That's true. It's absolutely true. Because of the word some. So ionic solids, so we've got a solid, will become less soluble in water as temperatures raise. So we've got solid going into solution, but we're not talking about the trend. We're talking about some, which can be the exception to the trend. But otherwise, the trend for a solid going into solution is as the water or temperature goes up, the solubility goes up. But again, this says some. Ionic solids become less solid. Watch out for terminology and true and false questions, and you should be fine on your test.